the girl discovered something terrifying. A cat was struggling desperately in the sink, but she coldly pulled the curtain shut. After the cat drowned, she pretended to have just noticed it and called her father. She even acted sad and upset. This 9-year-old girl was named Emma. She was a born psychopath. One day during class, a bee flew inside. All the students screamed and backed away, but she boldly trapped the bee with a cup. Then she covered the cup with a piece of paper. In front of the shocked class, she calmly released the bee outside the window.
Thank you, Emma.
You're welcome, Mrs. Ellis.
A girl named Katie showed off her birthday gift. When Emma heard it, she felt a strong sense of jealousy. She deliberately bumped into Katie. Then she pretended to care and helped Katie up. After the classmates left, the watch was already in her hand. Every night before going to bed, Emma practiced a fake smile in front of the mirror. She hoped her sweet and cute face could hide her dirty deeds. The school held the annual Citizenship Medal ceremony. Emma expressed her ambition to win the medal because she had won it for several years in a row. But her teacher, Mrs. Ellis, announced the winner was her classmate Milo. Milo excitedly went on stage to receive the medal. Emma already started to hold a grudge. She couldn't suppress the anger in her heart. Her feet began to shake uncontrollably. Although her father, David, comforted her gently, Emma's heart still refused to accept it. She told David Milo was an awful public speaker and couldn't even spell. When she saw David's face turn serious, she immediately changed her expression. A smile appeared on her face instantly. She said she was happy for Milo's win. While the parents were chatting with each other, Emma lured Milo to the seaside cliffs. She looked at Milo, who had stolen her medal, her eyes full of murderous intent. Her cold expression made Milo feel uneasy. Near the end of the event, a girl screamed when she found Milo. When people rushed to the seaside, Milo was already lifeless, and the medal on him had disappeared. Emma looked at their actions coldly. She pretended to be scared and hid in David's arms. That night, David talked with Emma's Aunt Angela about what happened. Angela worried that the incident would traumatize Emma, but Emma was secretly listening outside the door. The next morning, David tried to comfort Emma, but Emma gave a cold smile. She even happily shook her feet. At Milo's memorial, Emma didn't show any sadness at all. David, however, comforted Milo's parents. When Milo's mother greeted Emma, Emma suddenly shed tears. But then Milo's mom mentioned the medal, saying it had gone missing. Maybe it fell into the sea. The next morning, David accidentally saw Emma licking jam off a butter knife with her tongue. David helped Emma clean up her room. Some toys fell to the floor. As he knelt down to pick them up, he didn't notice the medal hidden under the bed. Just then, Emma walked in. She questioned why David was in her room. When she saw David's confused face, she instantly showed a sweet smile. David later looked through photos from the ceremony. He noticed that Emma had been staring at Milo's medal the whole time. David started to sense something was wrong with Emma. To take better care of his daughter, he hired a new nanny named Chloe. To her surprise, even though David had been divorced for years, he was still loyal and clearly wealthy. So Chloe had other ideas. She decided she wanted to become the lady of the house. Whenever David wasn't home, Chloe would steal his pain medication. But Emma saw everything. Now that Emma had something to use against Chloe, she immediately started giving her orders.
Now go and get me some ice cream.
Me a little bit.
Bring me a couple of cookies while you're at it.
The next morning, Mrs. Ellis showed up. After investigating with students and parents, they found out Milo couldn't swim and was afraid of water. There was no way he would go to the seaside alone, let alone climb those dangerous rocks. Plus, other classmates confirmed they had seen Emma leave with Milo that day. Hearing the conversation, Emma instantly sensed danger. She looked at the glass jar beside her. Suddenly, she screamed. She hurt herself on purpose to interrupt the conversation. Chloe was standing right there and witnessed Emma's little act from start to finish. While David was bandaging Emma's wounds, he said that Mrs. Ellis mentioned someone had seen Emma near the rocks that day. He hoped Emma could tell him the truth, but Emma walked away angrily, saying Mrs. Ellis was lying. She insisted the teacher hated her, which was why she made up the story. Right after arguing with David, Emma suddenly looked pitiful and apologized to him. She said she didn't mean to get upset. She was just sad about Milo. Chloe had something on Emma, but she didn't tell anyone. If she wanted to get close to Emma's dad, she knew she had to deal with Emma first. Around that time, they found out that Mrs. Ellis had gone to visit Milo's family again. To keep her crime hidden, an evil thought came into Emma's mind. She decided Mrs. Ellis needed to disappear. She took down a wasp nest from outside the house. Then, when Mrs. Ellis wasn't looking, she secretly placed it inside her car. As Mrs. Ellis drove away, a wasp flew right onto her face. She panicked and waved her hands wildly. In her panic, she almost crashed the car. Luckily, she pulled over just in time and managed to get the wasp out. But what she didn't know was, an entire wasp nest had been hidden in the back seat. Soon after, Mrs. Ellis died in a car accident. While cleaning the house, Chloe accidentally found the missing medal. She hung it on the lamp on purpose. Before David noticed it, Emma saw it first. She tiptoed over and took it down. She quietly hid it behind her back, trying to sneak it away. But David noticed her acting suspicious. After he asked her several times, Emma finally pulled out the medal. David immediately felt something was wrong. Just then, Chloe walked in. She said she found the medal under the bed while cleaning. Emma glared at Chloe coldly, but as soon as she turned around, she smiled sweetly again. She explained that Milo had used the medal as a bet, and he lost it to her during a game. After his sudden death, she got scared and decided to hide the medal. David still had doubts, but he knew they needed to return the medal to Milo's parents. As David walked away, Emma felt a surge of hatred in her heart. They soon arrived at Milo's house. Emma, clearly reluctant, returned the medal to Milo's mother. She looked surprised and asked why Emma had the medal in the first place. To protect his daughter, David repeated Emma's story. Milo's mother didn't suspect anything. Instead, she thanked Emma for returning it. During the conversation, Milo's mom mentioned Mrs. Ellis's accident.
I'm really sad, Daddy. Mrs. Ellis was my favorite teacher.
And she was stung? I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Daddy, I'm not feeling well.
The next day, David accidentally noticed the wasp nest under the roof was missing. Thinking about Emma's strange behavior recently, he quickly searched online for information. He started to understand more about unusual behavior in children, so he made an appointment with a child psychologist for Emma. Emma smiled and agreed to the plan. She even said it would be good for her, but to hold back her inner anger, she dug her nails into her palm until it bled. When the psychologist, Dr. March, asked her questions, Emma acted extra sweet and cheerful. She easily fooled the adult without showing a single flaw. Afterward, Dr. March told David that Emma was the most normal child she had ever met. When David got home, he saw Chloe sunbathing in the yard. She was wearing something revealing, and David instantly panicked. Chloe saw right through him. Later, she went to Emma to claim her territory. She boldly told Emma that she knew she was a murderer, and that she planned to become her stepmother. She warned Emma to behave and listen to her.
It's not nice to threaten people.
But you and me, we're not nice.
That night, while watching TV, Chloe heard a strange sound. She began looking for Emma and traced the sound to the tool shed in the backyard. Without any caution, she walked straight into the shed. As soon as she entered, she kicked over a paint can. The rolling can slammed the door shut and locked it tight. She was trapped inside. Before she could react, a fire broke out. Flames spread fast. Chloe was stuck inside. Chloe screamed for help in desperate agony as the flames engulfed her, while Emma watched from a distance, coldly admiring her own handiwork. When David rushed home, he was met with a raging fire and frantic firefighters. Chloe was dead. Thankfully, his daughter Emma was unharmed. To avoid suspicion, Emma said she saw Chloe secretly smoking inside the shed. But David no longer trusted Emma. That night, he quietly walked into her room and woke up the girl who was only pretending to sleep. He asked her straight, "Did you kill Milo?" Under her father's intense questioning, Emma finally dropped her mask. Calmly, and with an almost boastful tone, she confessed everything. She admitted to killing Milo because he took the medal that was rightfully hers. She admitted to killing Mrs. Ellis because she was a nosy teacher. She admitted to burning Chloe alive because Chloe tried to replace her mother and take over her family. She even confessed to the death of the former nanny. David stared at the daughter before him, so familiar, yet so terrifying. He felt a heartbreak and fear he had never known. He realized Emma was beyond saving. To stop her from hurting anyone else, David made a drastic decision. He took Emma to their family's lake house. He secretly put a lethal dose of drugs into her cup of hot chocolate. His plan was to die beside her after she passed. But once again, he underestimated Emma's cunning. Emma sensed his plan, and when he wasn't looking, she switched their cups. David unknowingly drank the drugged hot chocolate. He quickly lost consciousness. When David woke up, he found himself completely paralyzed. Emma stood over him, holding his gun. She pulled the trigger. A bullet flew past his body. Right away, Emma called 911. In a terrified voice, she cried and said her father went crazy and tried to kill her. The caretaker, Brian, heard the gunshot and Emma's screams. He ran over with his shotgun. What he saw was David crawling toward a scared Emma, mumbling, "She's evil," to protect the poor little girl. Brian didn't hesitate. He raised his gun. A single shot rang out. David collapsed in a pool of blood. He died with a look of despair and disbelief in his eyes. In the final scene, Emma was taken in by her aunt, Angela, and began a new life. The bad seed, carrying her dark secrets, would continue to grow.